Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com. And welcome to the Incoherent Ramblings of C&E, March 12th, 2009. How are you, Eric?
Fantastic, Chris. And yourself?
I'm doing well. We're here in the internationally famous C&E studios. And for our listeners, if they want to call in, Eric, can you give them that information?
Yeah, call in number 646-716-6928.
Yes, and you can go to www.blogtalkradio.com/incoherent ramblings, and there you will find all of our information. This call-in number that Eric just gave you, our email address, Twitter, MySpace, Facebook, Live Spaces, we're just
a way to
well connected.
To chat with us.
A way to chat with us, yes.
They can do that through Blog Talk Radio. Correct?
Blog Talk Radio, they can chat with us while we're on the air live. They can also do click to connect, and if they are equipped with a headset or a microphone, they can actually talk to us live on the show via that methodology also.
And if they're listening to us now via Blog Talk Radio,
right,
and if at some point at 6 o'clock one Thursday they aren't near their computer and they want to listen to our show, they're afraid they're going to miss us,
yes,
they can dial in on that call-in number and just listen to the show through that.
Absolutely. And most people have a unlimited, or at least they don't have to pay long distance anymore with the inventions of cell phones and
Correct.
The way the plans have gone. So that shouldn't be an issue. It is a New York City phone number, but if you have a cell phone like most of us do, that should not be a problem. So please, any manner you can listen to us live. We appreciate the people that download our shows and listen to it either via iTunes or any number of our social networking sites or Blog Talk Radio site. But the people that listen live, that really gives us a charge, so we appreciate them.
Also, it mentioned in the intro that if they want to send us stories to talk about, they're more than welcome to do so. And in fact, we had a listener last week, didn't we, Chris?
We did.
Send a story for us to discuss.
We actually have a listener input story today. I was going to lead off with it, but we have two kind of grave stories that we're going to start with, Eric, and then I want to go ahead and get that out of the way and do a promotion, use them to promote next week's show, and then we'll get into some fun stuff.
There you go.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
A short clip. Next week we will be having, right now we're scheduled a 20-minute segment. We're currently in the works of possibly making it a longer segment than that because we feel it may require more attention.
We may double it if our hosts are willing.
We may. So we will, we will relay that information as soon as we have it. Nonetheless, more information than that after these two stories, but we're going to lead off with the first story. Is a sad story. Maryville, Illinois, I believe it's about 20-30 minutes outside of St. Louis, Missouri. I believe most people listening probably heard about this. It was on the news quite a bit. This past Sunday, a man walked into a church. The pastor, actually, they have 4 services because when he started there was maybe around 100 people. Now there's over 1,200, so it requires more services. They were in the first the morning service, 8:30 a.m. Man walks in, mumbles some stuff to the pastor. The pastor says something in return, and then the guy opened fire with a high-powered handgun. One of the bullets struck the pastor's Bible and exploded into confetti, temporarily confusing some of the congregants who thought it was a skit and the person had a confetti gun. Followed by 3 more shots, and when the pastor was obviously injured, they knew that it wasn't. They were in shock. Thankfully, thankfully for 2 things. The gun jammed, leading to him discarding the gun and pulling out a knife, and thankfully 2 people in the congregation had the wherewithal to jump up and subdue this criminal.
Excuse me, he was armed with enough ammunition for, what did I say, 30 victims?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he had ammunition for at least 30 people, based on the reports coming from the police department. So, you know, and when I say that 2 people had the wherewithal to do something about it, that isn't to besmirch the people that didn't, because, I mean, if something like that happened, you would be in shock. I'm just glad that those 2 people did, because he was going to take the knife and start doing as much damage.
Yes. Greater, or he could have cleared the jam in his gun or whatever, caused a lot more damage. So.
Yeah, so that's good that, you know, it's a sad situation, but glad that these people were able to do that.
They don't know what prompted him.
No, they don't know. The only statement.
How old was the gunman? Do we know?
We do, and he is 27 years old.
Wow.
He has been charged with first-degree murder and aggravated battery. The pastor he is deceased. He survived by a wife and 2 children. It's always a sad thing when something like this happens, but it seems, you know, a lot of times when violent crimes happen, usually it's under more seedy circumstances, you know, drug deals gone bad, things like that. But here, people are in their church, exercising their freedom of religion, you know, as far as people are always talking about rights, and in an environment where you should never even begin to think something like this could happen. At first, he was in the hospital in serious condition. Now he's doing better, the shooter, and his lawyer has released a statement that, you know, he's having some amount of remorse. They really don't know what's going on, Eric. He has Lyme disease when he was younger and has had some lingering effects from that. But as one of the police people, Dr. Eugene Shapiro, a Lyme disease expert at Yale University, a direct quote from him says, "Lyme disease doesn't cause people to shoot people."
Right.
So if his lawyer is going to try to use that as a defense, that's insulting.
Yeah.
So, and I was afraid of this, that there would be some lawyer that would jump to his defense and try to come up with something like that. The church people are impressive. They are saying they actually are praying for the guy that did this, and that is the correct thing to do. Obviously, they're sad that it happened. Sad they lost her pastor, you know, and had to go through something like this. But one of the members actually said he apparently has a second chance. I believe that he's alive and that maybe he needs to go back to the Bible and read that book and ask question again. Something along the lines is this really God's Word, and what do I need to consider? Do I need to reconsider some things? So basically, they are following the instructions of the Bible to be forgiving, and hopefully this congregation will continue to heal, and hopefully the wife and the children will heal. And as difficult as it is to say this, hopefully the shooter will actually see that he was in the wrong, and he will also find some kind of peace with whatever he's dealing with. So, sad story, leading into another sad story.
Both gun-related.
We're doing this on purpose. 88-year-old man charged in realty office shooting.
This is actually much closer to home. This happened in Rock Hill, South Carolina, right outside of Charlotte.
Yes, about 2 hours south of internationally famous C&E Studios.
Yes.
Eric, as mentioned in our opening show, is a realtor. so this hit close to home for him as well. It was less than a mile away from Richard Blow's home. The police said he shot a real estate worker Wednesday afternoon in Rock Hill. There was little comment from his family Wednesday night, but Eyewitness News spoke to one neighbor who lives down the road. The shooting was at Caldwell Banker United, a realty firm on Ebenezer Road. Police said Blow walked in and started arguing with 68-year-old Jerry O'Neill in the lobby of the business about 2:20 p.m. Police said the argument was all over deposit money Blow wanted back from an investment property. They said after he shot O'Neill in the stomach, he waited for officers in the parking lot. Workers there called the act completely random. Elizabeth Drake, a neighbor, tried to figure out if the sour economy had any influence on the 88-year-old's actions. She goes on to say it's a hard time and stresses people out, and families will be affected by it. His family will be affected by his actions. His license plate says, "Let me tell you about my grandchildren." Here's an 88-year-old grandfather.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what's going on here either. The story does not say really what his motives are. I think they're just assuming that was his motives.
Well, if that's what they're arguing about, I mean, it's a pretty good assumption.
Well,
I've been in a couple of earnest money disputes before. Never resorted to gunfire, but
right.
I have been forced to sue to get the earnest money back. But, you know, apparently he was in the altercation with the broker in charge, which is, you know, he's basically the guy in charge of that office, and he doesn't have to say so who gets that money. If there's a dispute, it's got to be settled by the courts, not by him. Yes, he has the deposit in one of his accounts, but he doesn't have the right to just dispute it, disperse it to whomever he wishes.
Okay.
That's got to be determined by the courts. So.
And there we are from an actual realtor who knows how that works. Fortunately, in this case, at least thus far, the person being shot has not deceased. Underwent several hours of surgery Wednesday night. Remains in ICU in critical condition. Hopefully, he'll be able to pull through.
Yes.
So these are two gun-related stories, both sad. One, obviously, with a more grave ending.
Well, another one's not over yet.
No,
he's not out of the woods yet.
No, he's not.
And close to home.
Yes. So that we led with those two stories. Usually we try to be lighthearted and silly on the show, and we are getting to that, so please understand that will happen. But we started those two stories because they did catch our eye and were of interest to us. But in addition to that, next week, as I've already said, we are going to be having at least 20 minutes, possibly more, on guns, a gun segment. Eric and I both own guns. We both actually are members at the same shooting range, and actually today, after lunch, went and did some shooting of our own.
Almost 500 rounds.
Yep, 450, 500 rounds. My hand is still sore. But next week we will be having with us Joe West. He lives in Lenore, North Carolina. He is the NRA High Power Rifle Discipline Director for the Watauga County Gun Club in Boone, North Carolina. He is fairly close to actually being an NRA certified instructor. He is a test or two away from that. Very knowledgeable in guns. Has been shooting for many, many years. I won't say how long because it'll divulge his age. But he definitely knows what he's talking about and is a very responsible person. Also joining us on our gun expert panel will be Andrew Sides, much younger, however, has many years of experience with guns. Also owns numerous guns, handguns, rifles, shotguns, and is an avid shooter. And both of these gentlemen, like Eric and I, agree that one of the most important things, if not the most important thing of owning a gun, is owner responsibility.
Absolutely.
We don't take it lightly.
We're both, in fact, Saturday, we're taking a class, an all-day class.
Yes, from 9 to 6.
Yep.
9 hours on gun safety and gun laws, because we take it seriously. It's not something that can be taken lightly. My maternal grandfather always had guns around the house, and I had a clear understanding that touching them was not an option unless he took me out and handed it to me and told me what to do with it. And Eric was hunting at a young age, and we definitely have a very real respect for guns. And because of these two stories that caught our attention, and because we already had this lined up, we thought it would be a pretty good way to lead in for next week's show, because obviously in both of these situations, the owners of the guns were not acting responsible in any manner whatsoever. That's completely irresponsible citizenship, humanship, and gun ownership.
Yeah.
And while a lot of people think that guns, people that own guns, that shoot guns, and that are avid about gun rights, think that we're just all out wild cowboys in the wild shooting people left and right. That's ignorance on their part and somewhat insulting, because the mass majority of gun owners are appalled by this action and are very serious about being responsible. So
it's a hot topic right now. I mean, I was just interviewed when I was at the gun range, a month ago?
Yes.
And News 2 was there at the gun range. That was my first time ever going, by the way. And they were there interviewing people because of a record number of people signing up for that concealed carry course.
Yes.
Apparently they had 150 people at the weekend before that in that course.
Right,
so,
right. And it's amazing the people that are at the gun range. I've seen people there 8 years old. When Eric and I left today, there was a lady there, had to be in her 80s. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be mean, but easily into her 80s.
And the first time I was there, I saw somebody that age as well.
Yes. And men, women of all ages, of all ethnic backgrounds, all wanting to be responsible gun owners. And we applaud that. So that is next week, at least 20 minutes. And if we can secure more time, it will be more.
Something to look forward to.
Yes, both. We will have a few funny stories. We'll keep the mood light. But here are two people with a great deal of gun knowledge, and much more than us.
We'll have more by that time as well.
Yes, we will have more. But we already have gun knowledge, but not like these two gentlemen.
Right.
So next week, March the 19th, please tune in. Tell your friends.
Day after my birthday.
Day after Eric's birthday, after his 63rd birthday. No. How old were you, Eric? 62? No.
I don't look a day over 70.
No, it doesn't look a day over 70. No, Eric's birthday, March the 18th. Happy early birthday, Eric. That March 19th. Tell your friends about it, please. It'll be an interesting show, and we will have knowledgeable, experienced people on the show. So that's enough about that. We will move back to some stories. As promised, here's a story provided by a listener.
Awesome.
Listener input here at work in the internationally famous C&E studios. Since it was last week, Lawrence County, here in North Carolina. This is not a gun-related story, but this young lady may have Lyme disease. We don't know. Tammy, we'll just go with Fossil, said that she and her family were shocked at what happened during her uncle's funeral in Gray Court. A Candler, North Carolina woman danced in front of the service, waved a wand around the casket, opened the lid, laid her hands on the deceased head, and struck the body with a wand. Nicole Marie Loretta Leonard, 25, has been charged with disturbing a funeral and publicly disorderly conduct in Tuesday's incident, and I would say probably also mischief. Everybody was just kind of flabbergasted. They didn't know what was going on. The woman took flowers from the top of the casket and threw them at the family before leaving in a burgundy Toyota.
Was she part of the family or just crashing a funeral?
Nobody there knew her.
Just crashed the funeral.
Nobody at the church knew her. Nobody in the family knew her. Nobody knew anything about this lady.
Wow.
She just walks in off the street and commences to dance around with a wand, beating on the dead body.
You don't see that every day.
No, that is not something you see every day. When deputies asked the woman why she acted this way, the woman said, and I quote, she felt that it was the right thing to do at the time. Wow.
Wow. I don't know how to say that.
The right thing to do at the time. Was she trying to console him? Maybe she was trying to raise the dead. When you have someone that's obviously suffering from Lyme disease and mental deficiencies, there's no way to know. Fortunately, the deceased's immediate family was in another room at the time it occurred, so they had not brought the immediate family out yet, so they didn't have to, because that would have been upsetting, unnecessarily so. Even though I don't think this was malicious.
Seeing her do a drum solo on the deceased's head.
I don't think this was at all malicious in intent. She obviously, we're looking at a picture over here.
You don't think that was malicious in intent?
No, I don't think so. I think she's crazy. I don't think she was trying to hurt or harm or upset the family.
It's hard to say that that action is sane.
That's what I'm saying. And if she were sane, like if she knew the family and she was, trying to be mean, she's 25 years old.
Yeah, so it wasn't just like a prank.
No, it's past the age of 13. Not a prank. And we'll look at the picture. I mean, she looks like maybe, I don't know, somewhat questionable.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that was a funny story. It's an unfortunate story. No one got killed, but it was funny, and it was provided by a loyal, faithful listener who I would assume, and I believe it's safe to say, is listening right now as we speak. So thank you.
Send more. Thank you.
Send more. That was an awesome story that neither one of us saw. So
no.
Eric, do you have something for us?
And of local relevance.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got one. This one happened in Wisconsin on March 10th, so pretty recent.
Or as they say there, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. The title of the story is Deputy Makes Arrest in Underwear.
Okay.
Okay. A sheriff deputy, or
otherwise known as
a shepherdie. The shepherdie had his pants down, but that didn't stop him. With the help of a banker from, let's see, we're going to start in the middle.
Start at the beginning. Eric.
Start at the beginning. So the shepherdie was wearing his boxer underwear last Thursday night when he heard a loud crash outside his Racine home. He ran out to investigate and saw someone in a pickup truck was tearing up his yard and about to drive away, despite having knocked down a utility pole. He's in my front yard. He started to drive away. I don't think he's going to wait around for me to put my pants on, said Preston, who was 29, the shepherdie. Preston took off after him on foot. A banker was passing by, happened to see what was going on. He picked him up, and they chased down the drunk driver, and he made an arrest in his boxer underwear.
That is a good story. A hero.
A hero.
Indeed. And his costume is underpants.
Yes.
Well, good for him. I'm glad he was able to do that.
There's a quote from one of the officers that showed up later. He said, "I just wish I had a video dash camera to catch it all." He said he performed very officer-like despite his brief attire.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, to tag right along to that, I have a story also involving someone doing a heroic effort in his underwear.
There you go, in his underwear.
So we're contiguous tonight.
Yes.
Stories that actually relate in some manner.
Great segue.
Underwear-clad.
Also the funny quote.
Yes. Underwear-clad dad hailed as hero for grappling with lunatic ninja. This has got one of the best quotes that I've ever seen, and I had to include this story. This comes to us from Australia. Mm-hmm. When a dark intruder smashed through his bedroom window and repeatedly bounced on his head, Beat Etlin at first was relieved to discover it was a kangaroo.
On his bed.
On his bed. Oh, I thought it was on his head. I was still back on the story before where she was beating the dick. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Anyhow,
no one.
He was bouncing on something.
Yes.
And here's the quote. This is a great quote. My initial thought when I was half awake was, it's a lunatic ninja coming through the window. that just made me laugh. I mean, when you're half awake, you wake up, you're not seeing clearly. This guy saw a lunatic ninja
jump through the window,
burst through his window.
It was jumping on his bed,
bleeding all over the place, and jumping on his bed. His relief was short-lived, as Etlin cowered beneath the sheets with his wife and 9-year-old daughter, 2 a.m. Sunday. The frantic kangaroo bounded into the bedroom of his 10-year-old son, who screamed, "There's a roo in my room." He said, "I thought this can be really dangerous for the whole family now." So they decided to spring into action. Etlin, a chef originally from the Swiss city of Stans, said he jumped the 90-pound marsupial from behind and pinned it to the floor. He grabbed it in a headlock and wrestled the thrashing and bleeding intruder into the hallway toward the front door. He used a single fumbling hand to open the door and shoved the kangaroo into the night. And, quote, "I just had my Bond undies on. I felt vulnerable." His Bonds undies is a popular Australian underwear brand.
Oh, okay.
At first I thought it was like James Bond, like Superman underoos or something. Yeah. So apparently the kangaroo, when it burst through the window, cut itself. 5'9" in height, 90 pounds, so fairly sizable. But not only is it tall, 90 pounds isn't huge, but they're very strong.
Yes, they are,
and they're hard to contain. Yeah, they're interesting. In his underpants, he did all this bravery. And the last quote we will share with you, the last line of the story, comes from his wife, Verity. She said, "I think he's a hero in Bond's undies." So, underpant-related stories.
You got to see the picture, too. This looks like a bloodbath.
Yeah, there's blood on the door, on the window, on the floor, on another door. There's blood everywhere. This kangaroo meant some business. And basically, they had some animal expert explaining why basically the kangaroo just kind of got confused.
Rabid.
He was not rabid.
Not rabid. They caught him later and...
They caught him later and beat him with a wand.
And threw flowers.
So it
just seemed like the right thing to do.
It just seemed like the right thing to do.
Next story I got comes from Quebec. We're international here.
International. We have listeners in Senegal.
We do?
Singala. I'm sorry for our listener. Singala, in the west coast, the Ivory Coast of Africa. We have a listener there. We have a listener in Sicily. Indeed. So not only do we have international listeners, therefore internationally famous, we're an international show reporting international stories.
Yes. We come local. We had 2 local, North Carolina, and then we go a little beyond.
Yes.
This is from our neighboring country, Canada.
America's hat.
Quebec. A Quebec businessman believes he is dead on with his new project of an obituary channel on TV.
Dead on.
Dead on. It will be the country's first television channel dedicated to funerals and mourning.
Channel?
A whole channel.
Oh, it's not just a show.
No, it's not just a whole channel.
A network.
It's like a network. It's not just like an hour long. This is like 24/7 funerals and mourning.
Wow.
They could start broadcasting as early as this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. It will be broadcast in French. So,
well, there you go.
There you go. So I don't know.
we don't need to say anything more.
Some 55,000 people die each year in Quebec. But you can't reduce their life to a tiny death notice in the newspaper. It tells so little about them.
Well, that's true.
And once I started reading further, at first I thought this was pretty ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But this way they can actually do a little segment for their...
Pay some proper respects.
Indeed.
Okay.
Tell about the person's life and do it on video, I guess. So at first glance, I thought this is a ridiculous idea, 24/7 funeral and mourning. But the more I read, the more I thought, maybe.
I see what he's on to there. I completely unrelated, but when I was a young child, a friend of my father's was the director at a funeral home, and every time my dad would see him out and about, he would say, "So Howard, how's business?" And every single time he'd say, "Well, Wayne, it's kind of stiff, but it's looking up." So completely unrelated to Quebec and your story, but I see where you're coming from. It sounds not so much.
I guess the question to me would be, when people want to watch, when you read through the obituary, I guess you read through it, one, to see if there's anybody that died. Mm-hmm. We're not at that age yet where I think that I don't ever read it.
I've never read the obituary. No.
Unless I knew if somebody had passed away and I was looking specifically for theirs. But some people do read the obituaries every day.
My grandmother, deceased now, but lived to be 95 and a half, read the obituary every single day. Every day without fail she read it.
Do they read it looking for people they know, or they read it just to learn about?
Both. Her main reason was for looking for people that she knew.
Right.
But also just out of interest, maybe she didn't know them personally, but had heard their name in the community or whatever. Just something she was interested in.
People read biographies every day about people.
Yeah.
They might enjoy this type of thing. I'm not sure it's a bad idea. The more I read about it and thought about it, the more I thought this might have some relevance.
Well, and here's an interesting thing I just thought of. You mentioned if you were looking specifically for someone that passed away, when you do that, you look, and the guy has a point. There's a little paragraph.
Right.
So-and-so did so-and-so, was married to so-and-so, and the end. And tells really nothing about their life.
So-and-so.
Yeah, exactly. So this may be like a little look into their life, and maybe pay, if it's done respectfully, it could be done to actually pay respects.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I'm being kind of stereotypical here, but Quebec, I know Quebec is multinational, but it's the main language is French, and European people tend to be, like my grandmother, more superstitious maybe. My grandmother was very superstitious, and I'm not saying that's why she looked at the obituary, but she just had an interest in things like that, and maybe that could play into it as well. It may do well up there.
Yeah. He said he thinks there's a definite market for it, that funeral homes and related services don't have anywhere to advertise, which, where would you, except for the yellow pages?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know where I'd go if I had to plan something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you first go to the funeral home and then they direct you to where else, I don't know.
Or you go to the magic store and buy one.
That's right. But he says, my goal is that no death goes unnoticed. So, anyway, I just thought that was an interesting...
Morbid, but an interesting story, yes. Well, thank you. We have a follow-up from last week. Young lady out of Fort Pierce, Florida. The McNugget lady. Remember us talking about her. She has been labeled McNut and also Loco for Polio.
I like McNut.
Yeah, McNut. That's her. Latricia Goodman is now embarrassed to show her face in public. She's received all manner of hateful voicemails on her cell phone, and she goes out in public.
We should remind people that she called 911 3 times.
3 times.
Because she ordered McNuggets at a McDonald's.
And they were out.
And they were out, but wouldn't give her a refund.
Right.
Which was wrong on McDonald's part.
Yes. And McDonald's Corporation has admitted that the manager should have refunded her the full money, full amount of money, instead of trying to force her to take something else on the menu that she did not want. Here's an interesting thing, though, that I found interesting. She's still trying to justify this, which I find humorous. The manager just took my money, and this is an actual 911 call. The manager just took my money and won't give me my money back, trying to make me get something off the menu that I don't want. I ordered chicken nuggets. They don't have chicken nuggets, and so I told her, just give me my money back, and she tells me I have to pick something else off the menu. She is not going to give me my money back, and she don't have the right to take my money. That's a quote.
Eloquently put.
That's not my poor English. That's a quote. She goes on to say that she told the news person that was interviewing her she didn't have the right to jump across the counter and snatch the money, so she chose to handle it another way. So she didn't want to resort to violence.
That's a good thing.
Yes. I think it's wrong because this is a let's see here, talking about the phone call she's gotten further about the story. She goes, I think it's wrong because, like I said, it's not about chicken nugget meal. It's not about no chicken nugget meal. It's good English again. If everybody listens to the news, they'll understand my statement that McDonald's took my money. They didn't have any chicken nuggets, and so I asked for my money back. And here is, to continue the stroke of genius, when you feel that you've been mistreated or misused or robbed out of your money,
$3.49.
Yes, you have the right to call 911. That's the purpose of 911, so I thought. So she's still trying to justify Nobody is going to say that McDonald's was in the wrong because it wasn't in the wrong. Because they were.
In the wrong. I'll say they were in the wrong.
They were in the wrong. But you call 911 for an actual emergency. And this was not an emergency. This is from Tiffany Bennett, an emergency coordinator for St. Lucie County. It's not an emergency unless there was some kind of disturbance or somebody threatening someone. And I don't believe that was the case in this matter. Obviously so. Mm-hmm. So I understand why she was frustrated. I think anybody would have been frustrated on maybe a lesser level. Mm-hmm. But still, I found it amusing. And I wanted to follow up from a story reported last week that she's trying to justify her actions when they were obviously in the wrong.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for us there, Eric?
Let's see. I've got a story. Basically, fight erupts at youth-organized anti-violence concert.
Perfect. Can you read that one more time?
Fight erupts at youth-organized anti-violence concert. Not like a one-person.
Organized by the youth, that should tell you right there.
A fight broke out Saturday night after a youth-led Stop the Violence concert in downtown Silver Springs led to 16 arrests for offenses including assault and disorderly conduct. About 7,000 people gathered Saturday at Ellsworth Drive for a concert organized by Mixed Unity. The concert theme was Stop the Violence and included live music, breakdancing, and poetry.
That was part of the poetry.
Great combination.
That's probably what set off the violence.
At about 9 p.m. as the concert was ending, fighting began near the stage, and it turned out 16 arrests.
Wow.
Of the arrests, roughly 2/3 were adults, Chris. So you said, there you go, children organized, youth organized. It was 2/3 of them were adults doing it.
That is funny. Stop the violence.
Yeah, stop the violence. That's getting the message across right there.
Well, but maybe the adults were trying to show an example of what to stop.
There you go.
They were saying, okay, here's some violence.
And this is what can happen to you if you're violent.
Yes, this is what we need to stop. Maybe they were just trying to set an example.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on with the older people in America. Do you, Eric? We got an 88-year-old man shooting someone.
My next story is about a 79-year-old woman.
Yes. Last week we had,
but she's fine.
Last week we had an older woman that broke out a Emerald Lagasse pan and beat a teenager over the head who threw a whiskey bottle at her.
Hero.
Yes.
Heroin.
Yes. Heroin. Here we don't have a heroin.
No,
we do not. 89-year-old Ohio woman. This other lady was in Ohio that beat the kid with the.
Don't mess with them. Ohio.
She is arrested for refusing to return a neighbor kid's football. I find it an incredible waste of our authorities' time to arrest an 89-year-old woman because she won't return. Go take the football from her and give it back to the kid.
They call 911.
He should have. If you can call 911 for not getting a McNugget, he should have.
That's right.
She sued her next-door neighbors in December, claiming she suffered emotional distress because footballs and other playthings belonging to them keep landing in her yard. She lives in the Cincinnati suburb of Blue Ash.
Never heard of it.
In October, she confiscated the neighbor boy's football and wouldn't give it back. She was taken to a police station and charged with petty theft. The prosecutor later dropped the case, thankfully, because that would be an ignorant case to pursue in court. The lawsuit had sought unspecified monetary damages from neighbors Paul and Kelly Pennis. The family could not be reached for comment. Old people should have. We've talked about this 3 or 4 shows ago. The older people should be more mature and have better sense in this.
Yeah,
shooting people, stealing footballs. I don't understand. Everybody's going crazy.
They're sensitive about their yards, though.
Well, I understand. Well, first of all, it's not really anything to get upset over, but I understand if it bothered her that the kid was throwing stuff into your yard. But to take it to that level just seems a little bit silly.
I agree.
So last week we had a hero. This week, with this woman, for this lady right here, we we are going to award her with a special award here on the internationally famous Incoherent Ramblings of C&E.
The Sheep Award.
She is this week's recipient of the Sheep Award. Yes. Eric, would you like to follow us up with a good story about an elderly person?
Well, it's good. Well, she's not. Wait
a second. You said she's good.
Well, she's just not bad.
Okay.
I wouldn't say she's good. She's just not bad.
Has she been hit over the head with a wand?
No.
Okay.
No. Woman's tap dance classes confused with lap dances. Helen Hart says it seems as though men are more prone to make the error than women.
Right.
A woman is experiencing a case of mistaken identity, not for her personal identity, but that of her business. There's a sign of this woman pointing to her sign that says adult tap dancing, and it gives a phone number.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently people are mistaking that tap dancing for lap dancing. When Helen Hart tried to jumpstart business at her house by putting up a sign for adult tap dancing classes, the 79-year-old grandma started fielding calls for adult lap dancing services. I get maybe 3 to 17 calls a week, Helen said. I'm nearly 80, so age does not mean something. I don't know what that means.
Alzheimer's.
Can you imagine a man coming to the door, and I open the door, and I go, yeah? And he says, never mind. Well, on average, her tap dancing students are about 60 years old. Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Yes. Well, she
says at my age, it's a little flattering.
Oh, well, you know what? At 79, and she's still out not only dancing but teaching others to dance. I think that's a pretty good story.
Absolutely.
Kudos to her. Actually, Eric and I, we kind of cross share our stories, but we don't always cross share all of them. Mm-hmm. We actually have an overlap this week.
We did.
We both are bringing the same story.
Didn't realize it until minutes before broadcast.
Minutes before, because we are prepared.
That's right.
Pet store expects fish shipment, but gets corpse. A dead body was accidentally shipped to a pet store. Philadelphia, a pet store, they said they were expecting to get a shipment of tropical fish and salt water. Ended up getting a human body instead.
Frozen.
Was it Walt?
Was it what?
Walt Disney?
I don't know.
I hope not. Oh, no, it wasn't. He eventually learned that the body he got was that of a 65-year-old San Diego area man who died of early onset Alzheimer's.
He was beaten above the head with a wand.
Yes. They noticed an imprint on his head that looked like it could have been made by a wand.
Wand-like imprint.
Wand-like imprint. The airline simply says there's been a verbal miscommunication between the delivery driver and the cargo representative. And they're deeply sorry. Deeply sorry.
Deeply.
The store owner says he believes the fish have probably died as a result. That's probably so. So now we have dead bodies and dead fish.
If I had $1 every time U.S. Airways sent me a dead body.
Yes, you probably wouldn't have any money. So we would like to welcome another listener has joined us today. Thank you for joining us here. Eric, do you have another story?
Speaking of pets, we'll stay on the pet line.
Yes.
A poodle has become a local celebrity in a Chinese city where it goes for a walk every day on 2 feet. And when I first read that, I figured it was a dog that only had 2 legs.
Right.
This is a 4-legged dog. It's a poodle, white poodle. And since it was born, the owner took it for walks on its hind legs. So it walks upright.
Right.
Like a person.
Right.
Local people have gotten used to seeing Go-Go, and he is usually followed by a crowd of fans who scream whenever they see him. Mr. Wang, 66, the dog's owner, said he decided to teach the poodle to walk on 2 legs as a puppy, and he completely mastered it by age 18 months. It sometimes pulls on my jacket or walks in front of me, and occasionally looks back to see if I'm following, like it's waiting on me. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. The picture is good.
Picture here is a cute picture. I'm not usually a fan of poodles, but if I saw one walking around like that, I think it would. I am a dog lover.
Yep.
Obviously, our show's mascot.
I keep telling you, we need to teach Bella to do
Yes.
some sort of stunt like
Yes.
this. Ride a bike.
Walk on
her hind legs.
Well, she can't. She's.
That's the kind of promotion this show needs.
Yes.
We are going to make it strictly on our talking ability.
Yeah.
We need a catch. We need a hook.
Yes. That we're not very good at that. But she's deformed. Bella is deformed, and she can't even do stand properly. I still give her a cookie, but she can't even do stand properly. But she's an awesome dog, a wonderful dog. Our show's mascot, if you go to Blog Talk Radio /Incoherent Ramblings, you will see a picture of her in our official logo.
There you go.
It's not a picture of her. It's just a picture of her
head.
It's a picture of her head. She's a wonderful dog. So here's a story that caught my attention. This is not something you would think would happen. It's not something you hear every day. Woman charged with stealing another mom's phone and camera to buy crack. Okay, now this is a new mom.
Yeah.
Okay, she's in the hospital, Framingham, Massachusetts. Police say a woman who gave birth at a Massachusetts hospital tried to leave the maternity ward with more than just a newborn. The police say that Jennifer Morris stole another new mother's purse containing a cell phone and digital camera that she sold to get money for crack. The 36-year-old Morris was arrested Sunday, the day after she allegedly snatched the purse from the mother of triplets at Metro West Medical Center. Lieutenant in the police department said that Morris was caught on surveillance video taking the purse. Now, I'm going to have to pause here. This is just Christopher's opinion. I get very confused by the media saying that, she allegedly stole the phone. Allegedly this, allegedly that. She was caught on video taking the purse.
Wow.
So there's no alleged there. We will go on record right now. She did not allegedly steal anything. She stole this woman's purse.
Right.
She pleaded not guilty because obviously the video was proof that she didn't do it, whatever. She pleaded not guilty to charges, including larceny over $250. She was held on $3,000 bail. The police have not yet recovered the cell phone or camera. I'm not trying to be too mean here, but this seems... I'm not a parent. Eric is a parent of a beautiful child, a beautiful daughter that he's very proud of, and rightfully so. I'm not a parent, but every parent has ever talked to me, including my own. It's like the day their child is born is like an amazing day.
I stopped stealing cell phones and doing crack the day my daughter was born.
But in all seriousness, I mean, that's a day that is like supposed to be jubilation. You're supposed to be happy and excited, and pretty much most other things I would assume pretty much don't even matter.
Right.
Based on what I've heard from especially women that have shared this with my mother. I'm her only child, but her mother had 8 children. My father's mother had 12 children. And reports from them and many other mothers have said it's just you're in a state of elation. And I can't imagine how you could be in the right frame of mind to steal anything on your way out of the hospital.
Right.
So this lady, I do feel sorry for her. Has a newborn to take care of, and instead she's in jail over something that's quite ridiculous. So hopefully she will be able to get her life together.
Just say no.
Just say no. Yes.
Yeah. I got one last story here, Chris.
Okay.
Well, this takes place in Portsmouth. Pedestrian charged after intentionally running into Jeep, say police. And when I read that, I assumed he was driving his car and purposely drove into another Jeep.
Right.
No. The driver told police he saw Tate pick up his head, look at him, then lower his head and run head first in front of his moving Jeep.
Wow.
Like he was like he was a bull headed for I don't know.
Who knows?
According to Bashira's report of the district court, the deputy. Let's see. The deputy said that after that the person was uninjured and he was forced to do a breathalyzer test, which showed no alcohol in his system. He was uninjured and was not charged with any crime. Tate suffered let's see here. Apparently, he initially ran in the Jeep as a suicide attempt.
Okay.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
It seems like there would be some kind of crime, maybe mischief
or causing an accident. I mean, you could see where this would cause the Jeep to try and swerve and miss him.
He put the driver of the Jeep in possible harm's way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that there wasn't a crime committed there.
I mean, it doesn't happen often enough, I'm sure, to write a bill making that a crime.
Right.
Don't headbutt Jeeps.
Right.
You've been charged with headbutting a Jeep.
I don't think you need anything specific there. There's got to be, of the billion crimes listed on the book, there has to be something that fits.
Yeah.
Something that's generic sounding.
Yeah.
Well, we have another story here. Of vehicular weirdness. I think
we're
that's
just segueing right.
Yes,
we're like we planned it.
Exactly. Because I mean, we did plan it. Remember? Vehicular weirdness. We had animal weirdness. We had old people weirdness. We had, unfortunately, dead people weirdness. And now we have vehicular weirdness.
There we go.
Police charged driver who set through 6 lights.
That's happening in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
This week as
well. I'm going to read this story in its entirety. It is short, but there's some. It is quite amusing. Dillsburg, Pennsylvania.
Is that why you picked this name? I'm a Dillsburg resident.
Horn started honking as a sport utility vehicle set through 6 green lights at a south central Pennsylvania intersection. Okay, 6 light cycles. The car just sat there and did not move. Officers arrived to investigate the SUV that seemed to be parked in the intersection. And upon investigating further, they found the driver asleep at the wheel with his foot on the brake and a beer in the console.
I feel a breathalyzer coming on.
Yes. Officers, the men in blue yelled to wake the man, then had to quickly halt the vehicle when his foot came off the brake. So apparently it was in drive.
Wow.
And it drifted into the intersection Saturday night in Carroll Township, about 15 miles west of Harrisburg. Now here's the best. The last line of the story is the best line. This is quite amusing to me. The 41-year-old was charged with driving under the influence.
He wasn't driving until the police.
He wasn't driving. He was parked and sleeping under the influence intersection. So this other, the previous story, the guy runs headfirst into an oncoming car trying to kill himself, and they can't find anything to charge him with. Yet here they can charge him with something that he actually wasn't even doing.
Well, I guess if you got your keys in the car and it's running and it's in drive.
I'm not a fan of defense attorneys. And I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just saying a defense attorney could say he didn't start drinking until he had stopped the car. He came to a stop, decided to pop a cold beer and have a nap. There's no way to prove that he had drinking before that.
Well, he was driving under the influence because it drifted into the intersection.
Drifting under the influence. Yes, that's a new charge. Drifting under the influence. Well, that's all the stories we have, and we actually have more time left in the show. So we actually will discuss next week's show a little bit more because we actually have a small little clip
in our A program.
Charleston Heston, the late Charleston Heston, famous for Planet of the Apes, both Planet of the Apes.
NRA spokesman.
He was the NRA president.
Oh, president.
He was the president. He was in both Planet of the Apes. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
He was in the original.
Yes, I knew that.
He was the lead role in the original. In the remake, Tim Burton remade it with Mark Wahlberg and company. He actually was one of the apes.
Was he really?
He was the old ape that was laying there in the bed, I think, dying of some kind of disease or old age or something.
I did not know that.
It was Charleston Heston.
The movie enthusiast, something new.
Yes, I did. That was for homage towards him. He was also, I believe, Moses in the Ten Commandments. Played many prominent roles. A good actor.
Spartacus,
yes. We could go on.
Yeah.
We're not going to, but we could. We could pull up IMDb.
The filmology is
Yes, it is.
extremely lengthy.
Anyhow, he was the president of the NRA.
Yes.
And next week we're going to have NRA members and instructors, and we're going to be discussing guns. And we have a little promo here created just for our listeners, the promo for next week's show.
Now, if they listen closely, they may hear parts of the clip previously played on our show.
Yes. Yes. So here,
So for those listeners who are loyal
Yes.
listeners,
you'll be more in the know than people who have not heard this before. However, here is a little promo, just a short few seconds that we've created for next week's show.
Get your sticking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
And there you have it. We are so technologically advanced here on the show. It's scary, is it not?
play it again.
Get your sticking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! Get your sticking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
So there we have it. The late Charlton Heston, former president of the National Rifle Association.
What was the name of the chimp that died a few weeks ago?
Travis
Travis
the Chimp.
Also starring Travis the Chimp.
Also starring Travis the Chimp, who may have had Lyme disease.
May have.
If I think back on it, I'm serious. I think Travis had Lyme disease.
We'll have to review that.
I'm fairly certain
we're starting to
or
see a
Rocky
pattern
Mountain
in our
spotted
show.
fever or something. I don't know. He had some kind of tick-related disease.
Alzheimer's.
I don't know. He was 17.
Yes.
Well, that's not that old for a chimp. They live to be 130 or something.
Chimp years. That's
The chimp years. The chimp years, we have no idea.
that's 42.
We are not zoologists. But Travis the Chimp, I believe, suffered from Lyme disease, and we believe that possibly our story,
The wand wielding
Miss Leonard, who goes about beating deceased people with her wand, she may also be suffering from Lyme disease.
Indeed.
We may need to actually do some research on Lyme disease and do a report on it here on our show.
If you ever do anything wrong, get in trouble, blame it on
Lyme disease, yes.
This seems to be a great defense.
Yes, it's the new defense.
It's the Lyme disease.
It's the new, if it doesn't fit, defense. It is. We may not want to do that because it's going to take the nation by storm.
Yes.
I'm afraid of that. Well, today we didn't have any like theme or special segment, and we didn't last week. That's the cool thing about Incoherent Ramblings. We incoherently ramble. If you're listening, you know that we are incoherent and we have rambled. But that's the cool thing we like about the format of the show. We can just do what we want when we want. Next week, however, we're going to have, I'll promote it again, a segment on guns, at least 20 minutes in length, possibly longer. So please tune in. If you are unable to do so, you can download it. Go to blogtalkradio.com/Incoherent Ramblings to find out where you can actually listen live.
MySpace, Facebook, you can
Twitter.
You can download it, listen to it there, or
Yes.
go to iTunes.
iTunes. If you go to iTunes, you can do a search under podcasts for Incoherent Ramblings. You'll see our show. It's free of charge.
Subscribe to it.
Subscribe to it, please. And you can listen to us live, recorded.
Yes.
Either way, we will appreciate it. So, Eric, good show.
Great show.
And we hope to see you guys next week. This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show, live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.